All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. It is Friday night. It is 7 o'clock. It is time for US 5 and Japan 6. We've got a lot of folks already here this evening. Another really interesting poll. Commander 4, Nathan, was in the lead for most of the day, and then all of a sudden everybody decided that Commander 3 was the way to go, and that one roared back and won right at the last. All right, so what we got here today? Brian Conway is here. Brian Hyde, great to see you both. Tracy Hyde, welcome. Good to see you. Nathan is here. How you doing? The lovely and talented Jamie Blevins is, of course, joining us this evening. Fantastic. We've got the unnamed person who I think his name is Robert, if I had to guess. I think just became a member. Very nice. Appreciate you being here and rejoining. I think you had been a member before and then fell off, but now you're back. Great to see you. Robin is here, and he is in fine form. I don't know. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. I don't know what you're talking about. That's fine. Charles Hall is here. Wake Bill is here. And Charles Miklik from the beautiful city of Las Vegas is here. We are going to be doing a giveaway tonight, and I've decided to save everybody the hassle at the end. I'm going to go ahead and do the mandatory must-say things here before we take our quick break while everybody grabs a drink and gets ready to jump on here. So we're going to be doing a giveaway tonight. That YouTube is not a sponsor of tonight's giveaway, but the sponsor of tonight's giveaway is, boom, Historical Board Gaming. We've got a couple of very cool things to give away this evening, including, let's see if we can actually see what that looks like. This is a battle board and a set of UK Scout cars and a Tiger tank this is a kind of an accessory kit for North Africa, which is pretty cool that Doug Friend from Historical Board Gaming put together for us. We've got two of those to give away this evening, which is very cool. And in preparation for the global tournament final that we'll be covering in the next couple of weeks, we are also going to give away a global map with Larry Harris's nom de plume on it. And so we'll have that for you guys later on this evening. Rest of the rules, winners need to be 18 years old. They have to be a member of Board Game Nation's YouTube channel, and they need to have been a member for at least a month so that we can make sure that the non-gift members are the ones that are actually winning, which is fantastic. And you'll need to contact me if you win. I'm going to say your name. We're going to put it in the Discord server. We're going to post it on the YouTube channel, and so that everybody can, on the the community tab, so that everybody can kind of see who won. And then you'll have 2 weeks to claim your prize. And to do that, you'll need to reach out to me either via Facebook or through the Board Game Nation Facebook page, which is facebook.com/BoardGameNation. Or you can also reach me through the Discord server, and I'm just, of course, Gary at Board Game Nation. So you'll be able to find me there pretty easily. So if you've got any questions about those rules, feel free to fire them in there. Again, thank you to Doug Friend over at Historical Board Gaming for sending over another round of cool toys to play with and to give away. And, of course, thank you to Larry Harris for taking the time to sign all of these fantastic boards for us and to get these over to us. We appreciate that. Robin is asking if we're ever going to have a signed copy of Lord of the Rings Risk, signed by J.R.R. Tolkien. That would be something else. He's been dead for a while now, I think, but I'll work on it, Robin. I'll tell you what, I'll work on it. We'll see what we can get done. All right, and with that, we're going to take our quick break and let everybody grab a drink and get online here. Go ahead and hit that like button for us and tell us what do you think our odds are at this point. Charles, we've been relying on Charles in Vegas to give us the odds. How do you think it's going for the Allies? Or the Axis? Are the Allies ready to resign because they see no way to win? Or do you think that the Axis should hang it up and move on to our next project? Let us know what you think. How do you think it's going so far? And we will be back in just a moment. not. So it has been suggested to me that I should start a poll in the YouTube comments here, not to get everyone to hit the like button, but we would appreciate it if everybody hit the like button. But to accept the unconditional surrender of the Allies, and it's been suggested that I should put that in the poll. I wonder. I think it might be too early to do that, but I'm willing to give it a shot. Let's bring Doug in here and see if he can sell me on the idea of them resigning now.
I mean, thank you.
That's right.
Good to be here, everybody. I would accept the unconditional surrender of the Allies at this point. I mean, I would even accept the unconditional surrender of Russia if they want to decommission all of their military units at the beginning of their turn and not spend any IPCs. I would even take that route.
We'll see if we can get them to flip.
Yeah.
I like it.
They don't have to join us. They just have to decommission their military units.
I like that.
They keep the bomber.
Sure. No surrender. Look at you guys. All right, good, because I want more live streams.
Yeah.
We got bills to pay, friends. We're going to play this out to the very, very end. So I agree that this, for those of you that are in the chat, I agree that this game is still pretty close either way, but I do believe that there are a couple of key battles coming up that are kind of the ball game. Like if these miss, like it's going to be pretty hard to come back from. So we're pretty comfortable with all of the odds that are laid out, but as we've seen in this game so far, dice are they giveth and they taketh away. There's no doubt about that. So we will have to see. All right. So the rain has finally stopped in Memphis. Things are starting to dry out. One silver lining from that storm is that it mercifully knocked down most of the pollen, at least for like an hour.
I was going to say for half a day.
Right, exactly. So that's something.
Great.
It's been something. And the internet came back. I forgot to mention this the other night. On Wednesday, the internet came back like 2 hours before the live stream started on Wednesday, so we were able to run at regular speed. And we are doing that again this evening. Sorry again about Sunday. There was just nothing to do about it. It was what it was, and I was grateful that we were able to stay online and do the thing at all, considering the internet speed that we had available to us. But yeah, so good. Do I have any new information about Battlefront Dayton? It is still November 7th, 8th, and 9th. It's still going to be in Dayton. It is going to be Era of Empire blocked by Gary. There it is. Era of Empire. Tom Haver's here, everybody. Say hi to Tom, everybody. Tom Haver is going to be, this is only the third copy in the wild. I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
Nice.
Right. That is as far as I know, this is the first copy of Stalingrad in the wild. This is a regular production copy. We gave away to Chad Condi, in fact, our commander who's been kicking butt in the conversations as one of our commanders in this is the gentleman that won the very first production copy of North Africa, signed by Larry Harris and Matt Hyra on the box, on the rulebook, and on the map. That's very crazy. Cool. Yes, so that was cool. So yes, that's the very first copy of Stalingrad. We may give that away someday. I've got a ton of work to do with it before I can do that, though, so it will not be on the menu anytime soon, in the next few months at least. Maybe we give it away at the what's the thing called that we're doing in November?
Battle in the vicinity of Dayton.
I'm going to start throwing things at you.
Battlefront Dayton. I know what it is.
There he is. There he is. All right, good. So Battlefront Dayton in Dayton, Ohio, just outside of the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Larry Harris is going to be there. We're going to do qualifiers for the World Championship, Gen Con 2026, for Axis and Allies, for Global, for Anniversary, for 1942 Second Edition. Again, you don't have to play in our event in order to play at Gen Con. Let's not get that confused. But if you play in our event and win, you're guaranteed a seat in Gen Con 2026, which is very, very cool. Thomas Haber is going to be there running the very first Diplomacy Triathlon. And triathlon, what do you mean? So there are currently two versions of two versions of Diplomacy that are out in the world. This is the original, came out 1954. Thomas, is that right? I'm sure you have the original production copy from 1954. You should see the number of copies of Diplomacy that dude has. It puts my Axis and Allies collection to shame. It's really something else. It's great. How many copies of Diplomacy do you own, Tom? I bet you could probably tell me. Anyway, so we're going to play Diplomacy, the classic version, and we're going to play Diplomacy Era of Empire, which is the newest version available for pre-order now. Jamie's going to drop that fantastic affiliate link in the description. And then we will be playing a mystery diplomacy game that is not available, that I cannot share any more information about other than that. 1959 is when that one first came out. Do you have a copy of the 1959 version? I bet that's probably worth some coin, to be honest. Like that'd be something. Yes. Oh, right. And that mystery diplomacy game, we will be premiering that game. It'll be the world premiere of that game, which is, I think, very cool. I'm honored. Diplomacy is diplomacy is bigger than Axis and Allies. I know that we all kind of live in this Axis and Allies world, but diplomacy's been around a lot longer and has a lot more players and a much bigger community. We're Axis and Allies is gaining on them. What's up? But there are big community. So the idea that we're going to be able to be the premiere for the newest, only the third version of that game ever, right? Which is kind of cool, right? That's amazing. So Tom he does have a copy of the 1959 self-printed. Holy cow, missed out on Alan Callhammer's #1 copy at his estate sale. Man, I'm such the capitalist. I want to know what it sold for. Did you lose out on a bid, or you just missed the opportunity to go and buy it? Yeah, because that would be something. But no, this is absolutely true. This is absolutely true. The crossover between Axis and Allies and Diplomacy are a lot, right? So there are a lot of crossover between the both communities for sure. But which is interesting to me because they're very different games, right?
Yeah,
one is a full-blown hidden information game, and Axis and Allies is completely full information. Like you guys worry about me going into the world chat and scouting out, dude, I know what all of your options are. Now, and that's not to say that we don't get surprised every now and again. I was surprised by the carrier move on Wednesday to C-Zone 1. I didn't see that as an option to bring the American fighters over. We were actually kind of doing a little bit of a victory dance in the idea that we had forced the United States to spend IPCs in the Pacific that weren't going to be used. And they found a way to sneak them out, right?
That's right. Well, the U.S. even did something this round that was a little surprising to both of us. I think it's fine, but yeah,
for sure. Wow. Okay, so that first copy sold for $5,000.
Wow.
I promise you, there's not a copy of Axis and Allies on the planet that would sell for anywhere near this. Shannon Merritt, who some of you might remember from some of my earlier videos, he owns 901 Games here in Memphis. He bought that. We did an unboxing video. He got a copy of the Nova Games version, and it was sealed. It still had the plastic on it. And we did a video where he opened it up, and we went through it and kind of showed what was in it and so on. And when I sent all of everything over to Larry to have him sign, I sent him the Nova Games map. because it's just like a folding paper map, because it was more independent kind of prototypey thing at the time. It wasn't really a prototype, but it was a much less finished game, right? And they didn't have miniatures. They just had the little punch out, cardboard pieces and stuff. But but I sent him that map, and he signed it and sent it back, and I gave it to Shannon. And I don't know what anybody would pay for that, but I promise it's not anywhere near $5,000.
Yeah.
So it's been around for a long time. So I'm really excited and honored that Tom and Renegade would allow our brand new event in Dayton to be the world premiere location for that. So I really appreciate that kind of vote of confidence. And presumably all the diplomacy players are going to show up to play it, which we're excited about. So cool. Oh wow, the development copy sold for $2,000. Wow. Jeez. Okay, that's insane. Which is fantastic. So yeah, maybe this is why. This is a good point. Tom says activating this, and when it comes to why Axis and Allies and diplomacy people play I have a lot of crossover. Activates the same strategy neurons, and we all love a good map. Map is life.
Diplomacy has less luck and more like social deduction.
Yeah.
When you're playing Axis and Allies, as much as we all like to, the dice, sometimes like you're playing a dice game, like it's going to happen. You're going to go into a battle with 80% odds to win, and you're going to lose that battle sometimes. That's a part of the game. So
right. And I mean, you say 80%. Like, I mean, I've seen battles where you were 99% to go in, and you just got like, how in the hell? You just pick up all the dice and you throw them in the garbage, and you go buy new dice. Like, you just done. Get out. Like, I'm never going to throw you again. But of course, they land on all ones in the garbage can.
Yeah, it doesn't make it any less frustrating when it happens, even though it can happen.
Oh no, absolutely. Yeah, it's something else though. But at the same time, like, I think of the dice in Axis and Allies as the mitigating factor in there's luck in war. Yeah. Right? Like, you schedule a big, ground assault or, an amphibious assault, and a giant storm comes in. Okay, well, that sucks for you. Or, a storm comes over, you try to send in your bombers, and the bombers come through, and all of your AA misses because they didn't see anybody. And they had 37 bombers coming in, right? So yeah, it's to me, that's the representation of that.
Yeah. One of your divisions goes left when it was supposed to go right.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. I will say, and I made a video about this a couple 3 years ago now, I guess, about house rules that I made for espionage. If you're interested in it, you should check it out. It's only 10 or 15 minutes long, but I laid out 5 optional rules to involve espionage in Axis and Allies, and I created a spy unit, and he can like run around and do things. Industrial sabotage, which has some, it can ride on enemy transports and stuff. Like, it's more just kind of a fun little thing, but it's fun. And of course, because there's a new spy unit, you had to have spy v spy combat. So there's a way to do that. Right. It had to be a thing, but it was fun. Oh yes. I get this. I've heard this a lot. Robin, this is a great point. And I don't know. I don't know if the property is owned by the same people. It probably is. But anyway, so Robin's asking for Renegade to bring the Axis and Allies naval miniatures back. I know Greg Smorey's a huge fan of this as well. And at Gen Con every year he has an event, and there's people that sign up for it, and I think they have a league actually of some kind, and they play pretty regularly. So, and the pieces are fantastic. They're a completely different scale. If you've never seen these, they're a much larger scale than any of the actual like regular tabletop games, but they're beautiful. They're really high quality, and they come pre-painted.
Yeah, it's a really cool game. They usually run a tournament at the Spring Gathering, and when I took my son, I think it was 2 years ago, he got sucked into it. And I was like, where'd my partner go? He's like over there playing War at Sea and watching it with them. And
right.
like I wish he could get into it, but unless we're buying it all secondhand, like which that secondhand market is pretty
Pretty
steep.
steep. Yeah.
So
Maybe they're
yeah,
paying $5,000 for that.
yeah.
Like you wanted a whole set of the
Mhm.
naval warfare, whatever the Axon Navy at Sea. But
Another
yeah,
thing that was cool about it is it kind of had like it was like you buy these base sets and then you buy like these, what are they called, like booster boxes. It's almost like a game like Magic the Gathering where you don't really know what you're going to get, you know. So it's kind of a interesting concept like that. Build out your fleet.
yeah, yeah. I've always, I don't know. I've said this to I don't know how many game designers now, but like particularly when it comes to like variant games, like the BBR guys and the Young Grasshopper guys and this kind of stuff. Like I I would buy. And tell me, tell me if you would buy this. Maybe I can pitch this to Renegade and we can like make this a thing. Tell me if you'd buy this. If there was a rules sheet that came with some additional pieces that
Hmm.
sold for $15 or $12 or whatever, something small,
Yeah,
that you could buy that was like featured a particular type of unit, right? So it's like paratroopers is one that everybody always asks for, or
yeah,
having like a commander on the field that is like a special forces unit of some kind, right? And everybody gets one so that the game stays relatively balanced and so on, right? And then 6 months later or a year later, you come
hmm,
out with specialty air units, and you
yeah,
then you set your special forces units aside if you want to, right?
yep,
And now you play. This is the year of the dogfight, and maybe there's
hmm,
some kind of specialty rules when it comes to fighter v fighter combat, right?
yeah,
And I wonder, like, and then if you and to me, I take this inspiration from Carcassonne, right, where you could buy the little $5 or $6 10 tile expansions, and it
hmm,
changes the game entirely. And now it's a whole
yeah,
fresh thing, and they all play together if you want them to, so that you can make the big giant ridiculous thing if you want to, or
yeah,
you can just play one little add-on, right?
yeah. There, I think I mentioned this in one of our other videos, but I can remember when I got into Axis and Allies, it was the classic, the big blue box. There were a few expansions that were released for it. And one of them, I know it had like pillboxes for Japan to put on their islands, and it had
Sure.
US Marines. And they were
Isn't
like
is this Xeno Games did this?
I don't remember who it was. I've Googled a couple times and never been able to find it online. But like the U.S. Marines, like you pay more money for them, and they would attack on a 3. Um, but I think you could only like once they attacked and landed, then they like just became regular infantry or something like that. I think it was
Right.
actually I could they had trucks in it, and I think there might have been artillery that increased the attack. I think is where they debuted the idea of artillery. It was either artillery or
Right.
destroyers, but one unit that ended up in the later versions was in that. There
Hmm.
were paratroopers, and there was some sort of also fighter that you could build that would. It was like a carrier-based fighter. It could only land on carriers, but it costs less than a regular fighter or something like that. So it's kind of like an
Yeah,
interesting.
that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, there I don't remember if any of it was good, but I just remember there was a lot of like little things. I mean, there was multiple expansions, at least 2 that I remember us getting as kids.
Yeah. Yeah, see, and I think that would be interesting. And the other thing is that you would incorporate that into tournament play. So when it came time to go to Gen Con, right, and
Mm,
play in the World Championship or play in like the 42 or whatever thing, like you would have that would be like, so the meta wouldn't be the same every year, right? So like
yeah.
I don't want to see Eric. I love Eric. Don't get me wrong, he's a great guy, but I don't want to see him show up in next year and play in the anniversary tournament and play the exact same strategy again, right?
Yeah.
Like to me, it's a thing that like keeps the game a little fresh. Plus, it's a revenue driver for the game publisher,
Yeah. Hmm.
right? So it's a thing like they sell this game to us for $100, and that's the last money they're going to get from us until they make another game. And then now we've got to, and maybe people get exhausted. Like I just am now figuring out how to play North Africa. Now I'm supposed to go by Stalingrad and I'll Battle of the Bulges back out. Like you get into fatigue. But if you just make lighter expansions for the bigger games, you can continue to draw revenue while you're working on your next big, you know, full blown game. And don't get me wrong, I'm not questioning how Renegade does business. I'm just saying, like, this, I've thought that this was a viable business model for a long time. And obviously it works because it works for Magic and it works for Carcassonne and it works for half a dozen other games that do this exact same thing.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's a good point.
I don't know. Yes, apparently.
I'm not
I'm
making
gonna
this
call,
up.
without a name here, I'm going to start calling you Negan because that's what you look like here. I don't know. That's what I'm going to say. I had the expansion with the pillboxes. Do you remember who made that?
I
I'm
don't.
asking him. I know you don't because you Googled it and you can't figure it out. Do
I
you
don't
remember
think
who made that?
the original game was Milton Bradley, right? Classic, I should say. I don't think it was Milton Bradley. It was somebody else, I think.
Right. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
The time limits of tournament play means you should focus on the better strategies. I guess. Yeah. I guess. But to me, like, you get into a meta, right? Like where there's a prescribed best path if the game runs 5 hours. If the game's going to be 5 hours and it's going to run 5 or 6 rounds, here's the best path for the Axis. And if you're going to make 6 rounds in an anniversary, this is the best path to victory. But if there was just even sometimes just the slightest tweak, right? Like where you drop a Tiger tank in there like they do for North Africa, right? All of a sudden the Germans have another reason to buy tanks versus, something else, or, fighters, whatever. Anyway, I like it. Okay. I think I've delayed us long enough. We'll have to see how this goes. It's gonna be interesting.
Yep,
all right.
it'll be good.
All right, here we go. Oh, you know what? I've just realized I forgot something. We also got from Doug at Historical Board Gaming, he gave us some fuel dice. So to track air movement, which is pretty cool. So we're going to give away these as well. So we've got a couple of things to give away today. So stick around for that. And now over to the table.
All
yeah,
right.
That's true, Charles. And that's what the dice variants are for. The dice, yeah. That's true. That's true. Again, I'm not saying they're doing it wrong. I'm just saying I think it would be interesting. All right, down to the table. Here we go. Okay. All right. Yes. Oh, that's right. Commander Condi is our commander of the day. With how many votes he got? Like I said, it was like back and forth, and then all of a sudden he pulled out with 46% of the votes today. So that's great. And I think we got a lot of votes in today. More votes than we've been normally getting. So I'm glad to see everybody jumping on board and getting involved, which is great.
They're ready to pounce. They're thirsty for our blood, Gary.
So it seems.
Yeah.
So it seems.
Okay. So let me just ask you a quick question, Gary, as we're getting rolling here.
Sure.
Do you think it would be interesting, in this live stream or maybe at the end to lay out what you thought of for the U.S. to do this turn? I thought it was very interesting. And
yeah, we can do that.
Anyway, I think I liked your idea maybe better than anybody else's that I saw, to be honest. If I'm allowed to brag on you just a little bit. I
appreciate that. Yeah, we can go through it. It was kind of a nightmare scenario. If the U.S. had done it, it would have been very challenging for us to sort it out. But maybe you guys will see something that I didn't see, and you guys are very smart. So I'm not suggesting that I'm.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily either. But when you told it to me, I was like, that looks really scary.
What the heck? Okay, my iPad has decided that it wants to do this. It's going to load. It's going to load, and then no, not so much. Okay, great. No, okay. Well, that's just going to be mad at me now. We're going to power that off and power it back on. Hopefully that works. Okay. But what we know for sure is that everyone agreed on the purchase. The purchase this time is going to be 3 bombers and a tank. And of course, the Chinese will be getting an infantry this time. And I believe everyone agreed to put it in Ningxia. I got a whole nother round of comments about how I'm saying that wrong. So I Googled it again. I'm trying to say it correctly. Ningxia. Ningxia? I think it's a she sound. And now this is just not going to come back on at all. Okay, cool. I swear 5 minutes ago I was looking at this thing and it worked just fine. Or 5 minutes before the stream started.
It'll come back.
Yeah, it'll come back on. Okay, so a couple of things that we know for sure while we're waiting for this to come back. Oh, here we go.
I mean, I can bring it up on my phone if you want me to. No, don't get me wrong. Your guys' plan is good. You guys did things that I didn't consider. I think what you guys did is very strong, and it's in no way to say what you did is either not going to work or not as good, if not better, of an option. I just, when Gary told me his thought, I was like, wow, that looks really scary. I'm glad they didn't do that. So I didn't fully math out all of Gary's idea.
Yeah. Okay, so my iPad doesn't want to work. I'm not sure why, but it all of a sudden decided that it does not want to do what it was doing just moments ago. So we're going to try to pull this up on my phone, which means I'm not, for the next few minutes anyway, not going to be able to see the chat, but that's okay. Okay, so here we go. So first we have 2 fighters from Hawaii coming down and swinging at the Japanese fleet in Sea Zone 48. That is going to be 1, 2, 3 moves, which, if they survive, obligates one of that carrier to come down. Okay, next, 4 infantry from Hawaii are coming down to the Caroline Islands. We've got a problem. So I've got 4 infantry moving. I'm looking at the wrong orders. I'm on the wrong guy. Hold on. Sorry. Nathan, I started to do your move. Sorry. There we go. Okay, this makes more sense. Okay, so it is still the 2 fighters from Hawaii.
Okay.
And 2 infantry from Hawaii. Excuse me. I knew this sounded... As soon as I said that, I was like, that doesn't sound right. Okay. 2 infantry landing in the Caroline Islands on 1 transport. And that is a gimme for the Americans. Welcome to the Caroline Islands. It's nice there. The 2 bombers from Eastern Canada are heading back across the pond to try to wipe out these Italians. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 moves to get there.
Yep.
1 transport is taking 1 of the artillery. This is going to be a little tricky to situate. What? It's Commander 3. Okay, hold on. Let me back up here. What are we looking at here? Yeah, so these are Chad's orders. Yeah. These are the right orders now. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not attacking the Japanese fleet.
What the heck? Okay. And what am I looking at? US 5. I'm in the order sheet. I guess maybe I'll just go over to Discord and open it there.
Yeah. He's going 1 artillery to London, the bomber or to northwestern Europe, 2 bombers northwestern Europe, a fighter to northwestern Europe, and the 2 infantry to Caroline. He is not hitting.
Okay. Okay. All right. So check that. Let's bring this back out here. So these fighters are staying in Hawaii, at least for now. So he's not moving there. Okay. So this is what I'm looking at now from what we posted on Discord. Okay. So it's 1 artillery on this transport to Northwest Europe on 1 transport from Sea Zone 5. So
Correct.
It's moving into the Baltic and landing that way.
Yeah.
It is accompanied by 2 bombers and the fighter from Sea Zone 7.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm looking at the same thing. Okay, so that's just 1 move. I assume they're going to go someplace else. I don't know I have to look at what's just going to happen next. And then that's it. Then just the 2 infantry to Caroline Islands. So that's all the combat. Am I reading that right?
Looks right to me. We did talk beforehand, and I think that we did think that he was hitting the maybe it was number 4 Nathan's that was hitting our fleet in 48. I don't remember exactly, but Chad is not hitting our fleet. So
okay, and he has confirmed that this is the correct orders. Okay, good. Okay. All right, good. So that's all the combat. So that's good. Okay, so we got to do the amphibious assault. Well, that's your only rolls, right, for the Americans? Yeah, just this one in Northwest Europe.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've got 2 4s. Yeah. Okay. This is 2 4s here. These are your bombers. 2 hits. That didn't take long. And these are our 2 Italians, brave Italians, firing back and hitting twice.
Yes.
Boom.
Bam. That's big, Gary.
That was a big one.
We needed that.
Yeah, Chad. Chad, what do you want to do? You're obviously I don't know. I don't want to speak for you. You might want to take the territory. I don't know what you want to do.
Yikes.
Talk to me, Goose. Yeah, that was tough. I was hoping just to get the artillery, but I'll take 2 hits there. That's cool with me. That's a
fighter and artillery.
All right, so we're keeping the bombers. We're losing the fighter and the artillery, but the Italians are also leaving the party.
Those guys served well. They will be decorated.
That is there's monuments being made to those guys
right now
as we speak. Okay, so that's the end of combat for the Americans, unless I'm missing something else. I think that's it.
Yeah, yep. Looks good.
Okay, so total losses this time. Axis lose 6 IPCs. Allies lose 14 in a very valiant defense of the Netherlands and assorted other northwestern European territories. So songs will be sung. Songs will be sung about their contribution to the war effort. Okay, so that is the end of that. Let's on to. I need my phone back. Okay, so I'm not gonna be able to see the chat again for a few minutes here. So again to the non-combat. Okay, so the 2 bombers are moving from Northwest Europe back to London.
Yep.
Okay, good. The bomber from the eastern United States is cruising over to London. We'll clean that up in a minute. 2 infantry from London. I thought this was really interesting. 2 infantry from London to Baltic states. So these 2 infantry, via 1 transport, are coming and reinforcing these fighters, I guess. I guess you were worried about these fighters. Okay. The fighter from Northwest Europe does no longer exist. The carrier from 7 is joining the show in 5. So that moves over. I'll clean all this up before I take the battle update photos so everybody can actually see what's going on in there. The transport from 7 is moving back to C-Zone 1. The infantry from the eastern United States is walking up to eastern Canada. The tank from the western United States is going through western Canada and then across to eastern Canada. Very cool. The 2 fighters from 56 are going 1, 2, 3 and landing in C-Zone 1 on the UK carrier. Again, kudos for that move. Very clever.
Yeah, that was slick.
Yep. The fleet in 56, sans 1 transport, is moving to 51. So this battleship is coming down. These 2 destroyers are coming down. This carrier is coming down. And those guys are chilling in C-Zone 51 with 1 transport. My kingdom for a bomber in New Guinea to just land on those American land units.
Yep.
Okay, and 2 fighters from Hawaii now coming to 51 to land on this carrier. Oh, come on. Okay, there's 2 fighters in C-Zone 51 that are on that carrier. 2 fighters from Hawaii going to Midway. Oh, that's an interesting move. I didn't see that. Okay, that's fun.
Yep.
The last transport in C-Zone 7 with the 2 UK guys on it are moving into C-Zone 5 with the rest of this mayhem. All that, again, is in C-Zone 5. We'll clean that up in a little bit. 2 infantry from the western United States on this last transport into C-Zone 59. So this guy is coming into 59, not landing in Iwo Jima, but just hanging out as a naked transport with 2 guys on it in 59. Okay. And then 1 infantry from the western United States to West Canada.
The one guy from the western United States goes where?
Western Canada.
Western Canada. That's kind of strange. Oh, I get it.
Yeah. So they could retake Alaska if we take it. All right. So any is this what you're looking for, Chad? I'm coming back to the chat here so I can see what's going on. You may not have the right. You may not have the fighter back.
That made me laugh, Robin.
Yeah, Chad, you're good to go for the rest of the Americans' turn here? This is the end of US 5. Oh, hold on. The Chinese infantry goes to Ningxia. Ningxia. We may have lost Chad. Okay, so we're going to give Chad another 20 or 30 seconds here to, apparently he's debating doing something different with these midway fighters. We'll give him another minute to figure out what he wants to do, if there's something magical that he has in mind here. 2, 3, 4. I don't know where else they could go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Could go to Alaska. They go to New Zealand. Go to Central U.S. is open. They could make it there.
I like that plan.
Yeah. Protect the center, the heart of America.
Yeah. Doug, are you doing what we talked about?
I think so, yeah.
Now that we've got the math?
Yeah, I think so.
Hey, Iowa's lovely, Charles. Don't knock it.
Yeah.
I lived in Iowa.
Mm.
I lived just outside of Omaha for about 2.5 years. Jamie and I lived there. And I always tell people, man, if you ever get the chance to go to Omaha, go someplace else. Because it is a million people in the middle of nowhere. There's lovely people there. Don't get me wrong. We didn't particularly care for living there, but it was fun. They had a very nice zoo and a really incredible train museum. All right, so we're going to call it there. I guess we lost Chad, at least momentarily. If he comes back, he comes back. We'll deal with that when we get there. So let's do a quick review of the position for the Americans units at the end of US 5. East to west. Eastern Canada has 1 infantry, 1 tank in it. C-Zone 1 has 2 American fighters on a UK carrier with the transport in it. As we come across to London, London has 1 artillery and 3 U.S. bombers in it. They also happen to have 3 UK infantry, 2 UK artillery, a tank, and a bomber belonging to the UK, and an AA gun. When we get into C-Zone 5, this is a lot here. So all of this is C-Zone 5. So the Americans have 3 transports, one of which has 2 UK infantry on it. They've got a carrier that has no air units on it at all. The rest of the C-Zone, this is quite the multinational force. All of the allies are represented in C-Zone 5. I think that's nice. They've got a Russian destroyer and fighter, a UK carrier with a fighter, 2 destroyers, a cruiser, a battleship, and 3 UK transports. So quite the allied multinational. Chad, I see that you're back. That is the first message that we've seen from you in a little while. So I'm going to keep going. So if you want to pipe up and say something, feel free to do so. The Chinese infantry has been placed in, there are 2 American infantry in Baltic states to go with the 2 UK fighters and the AA gun that is there. As we come across, there is 1 Chinese infantry in Ningxia. And now out here in C-Zone 51, they have 1 transport, 2 destroyers, a carrier, a battleship, and 2 fighters. The Caroline Islands has 2 infantry on it. C-Zone 59 has a transport with 2 infantry. Midway has 2 fighters on it. Honolulu has 2 infantry on it. Western United States has 1 infantry. Chad, are you good to go here? All right, good. We're leaving it as it is. Sounds like a plan. Okay, so quick tally for the end of round 5. At this point, there was no IPC change this time. So the Italians are earning 13. The Russians are earning 25. The Germans are earning 26. The UK is earning 31. The Americans are earning 39 because they still have Morocco, Algeria. And the Japanese are producing 42. The Caroline Islands did change hands, but it's not worth any IPCs, so there's no change in income. Victory City count is still 9-9. if my little bombles here are correct. I made that word up there, bombles. These are bombles from now on. Bombles.
I like it.
Yeah.
I mean, they needed a name, and now they have one.
Oh, Stalingrad belongs in here. Okay. Okay, so we're still 9-9, but in the IPC count, the Axis are behind by a fair amount. Yeah, and now the Americans are building. They're putting the 3 bombers. Is it 3 bombers in the eastern United States and the tank in western U.S.? I don't have it set out. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the tanks in the western U.S., 3 bombers in the eastern United States, and that is in any tournament game. There comes a point where things become meaningless, and this is one of those things that's just pretty meaningless.
Perhaps.
Right. Okay, so those 3 bombers are here. Can they reach Paris? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If they control Northwest Europe, those 3 bombers can hit Paris. So that's 6 bombers to Paris. What are you guys trying to do here? That's just mean-spirited. So they can get there with 6 bombers, 2 fighters, and an infantry and an artillery, and two artillery, an infantry and artillery and a tank, and 6 bombers. And I suppose they could bring these 2 guys over as well.
Yep.
So that's just downright unfriendly. I mean, come on now. Yes, we'll see. Okay. So,
all right. U.S. gains 39.
That's what I got.
Okay.
And I would put it into my sheet, but apparently it's not going to work on my iPad. Don't know why. That's weird. All right, so that takes us over to the beginning of the final round.
Okay.
And 6. Oh man, it's been a game and a half, my friends. It's been a game and a half. All right, what do you want to build, Dougie Doug?
So I think. Okay, so if I still just build a destroyer in 62, move a carrier 60, it blocks his transport, right? I'm not missing anything stupid that's going to lose us the game. Because the fighters could reach 62 or 60. They have nowhere to land. I can bring the 2 guys from Tokyo to Briatia so he can't take with the Russians and create a landing zone.
Okay, so the only thing that I'm worried about is if these fighters clear 62 and these guys land. So they can make an amphibious assault with just these and this. Yes. The fighters can't land and can't make it to Tokyo, of course, but they can destroy the destroyer that's there, and then the transport could land alone.
Yeah, but they have to have a legal landing zone. I'm going to blow up the U.S. Navy.
Oh.
If I don't blow up the U.S. Navy, then it's a moot point anyway, because they'll just take the Philippines and Hong Kong. Or
okay, if that's the case, then we have to make sure that the Japanese hold Briatia.
Yeah, so I take the 2 guys from Japan there. I have 4 infantry and a tank. Their best bet is 3 infantry and a bomber.
Well, we'd better win in 51 then, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I have yeah, again, it's a dice game. I have 76% chance of winning in 51. I could lose.
Okay.
But I mean, I have to win in 51 anyway to kill that transport.
Right. Agreed.
But I mean,
But if this does fail.
Yep. Well, then it doesn't matter. He still has a transport.
Do we have a plan B?
No, the game's over. I can't protect Philippines, Hong Kong, Shanghai from those 2 transports. He could go to the Philippines, or he could go to Hong Kong, or he could go to Shanghai. With 2 infantry.
So if this all goes to hell,
yeah,
I don't know. We'll have to see what it looks like. But all of that, what you just described, is non-combat. So we'll know what the disposition of 51 is anyway.
Yeah.
I guess what I'm trying to figure out is if we get down to it. Okay. So here's the idea. Here's what we need to do then. This fleet, when it goes to 51, it's going through 50.
Yeah.
So if it all goes to hell,
I can retreat to 50.
you can retreat to 50.
Yeah.
Which would at least, give us some measure of defensibility.
Okay, here's to me what it comes down to. If I go with the 4 fighters, battleship destroyer, and 2 carriers into 51, I have a 75% chance. Okay. So that's leaving 1 carrier to block in 60.
Mm-hmm.
If I take that carrier in, I have an 85% chance in 51. And then I just take one of the bombers from the East Indies and I blow up their transport in 59 with the guys on it. So 59's done. We don't even have to roll dice there. And I have an 85% chance to win in 51. 4 fighters, a bomber, 3 carriers, a destroyer, and a battleship.
Okay, cool. I love every part of that. What's it do to our plans over in...
Well, it takes a bomber out of that. The other option is to keep a bomber over there, do 4 fighters, 2 carriers, a destroyer, a battleship, give me 75% and 51, then move the carrier to 61 to block. Or 60 to block, rather.
Right.
So we have either 85% and no bomber in Asia, or 75% and a bomber in Asia.
And if we take that bomber out, it means that we're not coming at the guys in Kazakh, right?
Yeah, we can't attack Kazakh. It's just not practical.
Well, we could. We just are not going to be able to get everything that we wanted.
Yeah, our, again, I don't remember the math. Our 70% in Persia and our 80% in Caucasus goes down if we pull something to go after Kazakh.
Right. Okay, so we're not going to attack with these guys in Hubei, right? They're gonna move in non-combat.
Yeah.
There's no value in going after these guys anyway, so it's fine.
I mean, we could do it just for the fun of rolling dice. It's not consequential either way. Like, we either kill the transports or we don't. We're not protecting, unless I'm going to fly all my bombers to Shanghai or Hong Kong or something and not use them in combat.
That's an interesting idea. So the Russian bomber can come out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
So they can get there with the bomber and 3 infantry, which would provide a landing zone for these fighters. So we need to build something in Japan, is what I'm getting at.
But Japan doesn't matter, because they would just pass Japan and go to 61 and take Hong Kong or Shanghai. Or
that's 2 combat moves.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, I forgot I was building a destroyer in 62. Yeah.
Right. So but we have to build some land units in Japan.
Yeah, I was going to build a fighter. I think it was.
We have 46, right? How much does Japan have?
5 tanks. That's 25. A fighter, 35, and then an infantry and a destroyer. So I have plenty to put into Japan and India to protect them if something goes horrible.
Right. Okay. So it's 3 tanks that are going to go to Calcutta, and then 2 tanks and a fighter and a guy going into, and the destroyer going into 62, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking 2 tanks and a fighter in India.
Okay, cool with me.
And then
I like it.
3 tanks, infantry, and a destroyer in 62.
I love it.
Okay, so do you want What do you think? 75% and 51 or 85% and 51? I mean, it's going to be thin. It's going to be thin for us no matter how we do it. Math is hard, Charles.
Yeah. Math hard.
Do
Yes.
you want to go with the 75% and risk it?
Fortune favors the bold. I
That's
think
what
I
I
saw that
say.
on a T-shirt somewhere.
Yeah.
All right.
T-shirts never lie.
So call the play.
Okay. So we're going into 51 with 4 fighters.
Okay, hold on. Let me break this up.
Yep.
One, two. We got 6 fighters all day, so make sure that I don't screw this up.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fighters. Turning this into 2 bombers. And turning this into 2 bombers. Okay, sorry. Carry on.
So 4 fighters to 51.
4 fighters to 51.
Yep.
Okay.
We're sending through Sea Zone 50 a battleship, a destroyer, and 2 aircraft carriers into 51.
Okay, and we are ignoring 59.
Correct. Because we're just going to block him. And I mean...
And even if the fighters come in and blow them up, it doesn't matter. Or if the bombers come in from eastern U.S., can they make it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They can't make it. Okay. And it wouldn't matter because they would, best case, they could get this transport to land 2 guys in Japan where they'll run into 3 infantry and 3 tanks. And if we lose that battle, then I'm getting out of show business. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so 4 fighters and the fleet into 51.
Yeah, save 1. No, I'm keeping 1 carrier back.
1 carrier, okay, stays in 48.
Yep. Okay. Going into Persia, I'm taking the transport in Sea Zone 30, and it's going to land in Persia with an infantry and an artillery.
Okay.
I'm bringing the infantry and the tank from India.
Yep.
In, and I'm bringing a bomber from East Indies.
Okay. 2, 3, 4. That's 4 moves to the East Indies.
Yep. I'm taking the 2 bombers in India, and I'm going into Caucasus. And the 2 fighters from India and going into Caucasus.
Okay, and that's 2 moves for all of those guys. Okay, you
Yeah.
still have a bomber in East Indies.
And that bomber in East Indies is all I have left to take into Kazakh.
What do you think about taking? Can it reach Russia? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, but the one from these bombers could.
I did think about that. I did think about taking 1.
Because we're going to have a better shot at killing this infantry than we are these. It's more likely that these guys will miss. We got to fade the AA, of course, but it's more likely that the infantry and the bomber will miss than the 3 firing back at a 2. If we're only going to have 1 shot, then we want to try to keep that guy's alive as long as possible, right?
Yeah, that's true. We could kill the bomber and the infantry with a little bit of luck.
Yeah.
Okay, so those guys move 4. This guy moved 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means one of the bombers in Caucasus moved 5.
Yeah, that's okay. Okay, so this guy, he's coming from India, so he'll have moved 3.
Yep.
This transport's up here. This guy's coming 2, 3, 4, 5.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that guy's moved 2. This guy's moved 5. Let me do it this way because these fighters also moved 2. How you like that I'm marking all these air units like they're going to survive?
Dude, they're going to survive.
I believe you. Okay.
One of the bombers in Caucasus. Oh yeah, two. I don't. Yeah. Okay. So let's just look at it one more time. The carrier in 48 moves to 60 in non-com, and we build a destroyer in 62. I bring the 2 guys from Tokyo to Briatia.
That's non-combat. If
Correct.
this bomber dies, then that's not necessary.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter yeah. Okay, so we again, to me, the only question is bomber to Russia or to Sea Zone 51.
I just had a fun idea. I think it's not a good idea, but it's a fun idea. Is to grab a guy from Tokyo and the tank from Briatia and attack the fighters in Midway.
That is a fun idea.
I don't think it's a good idea.
A bad idea.
Right. Like, oh, look at that opportunity. Didn't see that there.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, hold on. But there is another possibility here. Yeah. What are your odds into 51?
They're like 75.
What about the tank and an infantry to kill these Americans in the Caroline Islands? No, that doesn't make sense either. Okay. Because if we win, it doesn't matter. And if we lose, they're going to have to retreat anyway. So it doesn't matter. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
There's not a scenario where we lose. Yeah.
Right.
I'll be really sad if 51 goes poorly.
Well, put that idea out of your mind. We're gonna flatten them, and we're gonna be looking at Honolulu, and we're gonna beg the Allies to play a 7th round. That's what's gonna happen.
With all our training.
Hey, look at the clock. Look at all this time we've got. We should play a 7th round.
Oh yeah. We should decide that sooner.
Though I have to say, I'm not sure that a 7th round, that would be great over here. I'm not sure would be a great option for Europe. All right. So for clarity, the battleship is not part of the bombardment into Persia.
Correct.
All right. Is that it?
Yep. Let's do it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I see your comment there, Nathan. There's not a scenario where we lose. That was an incomplete thought. There's not a scenario where we lose and the transport being there matters. I don't want your mojo on my dice. I'm just saying. In fact,
meaning if we attacking the Caroline Islands does us no good with land units.
Right. Now you've made me shake up the dice again. All right. Okay. First up, it's got to be the amphibious assault into Persia. So we have 1 infantry at a 1. Hits. I like it. 2 at a 2. Misses. And 1 at a 3. A second hit. And the 4 hits. So that's 3 hits all day for the Japanese. You've got 4 3s firing back. And getting statistically correct, which is 2 hits. So
2 infantry, please.
Yes. So you're down 3 tanks. Oh, wrong color. 3 tanks. 2 infantry going down for the axis. All right, we will press the attack. That gives us, this is our artillery at a 2. Miss, and the tank at a 3. Hits, And your tank at a 3 hits. Okay, so we lose the artillery. You lose the tank. Japan takes the territory. Okay. Cool. That. Boom, 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 boom. All right, next up, Caucasus.
Don't we have to do...
That's not an amphibious assault. We can do them in any order we want.
Got it. Yeah, Caucasus.
Okay. We're coming in with 4 air units. So here's your AA shot. Nothing. I found the key with the AA is to not build it up.
That, not roll 1. Roll
right.
a bunch
That's also helpful. All right. So here's our fighters at a 2, or at a 3 rather. Our fighters fire at a 3.
Yeah, I do like
2
that.
hits. There's our hit count. 2 bombers. All 4 hits. Okay. Overkill. I like it.
Overkill.
Yes, yes, yes. All right. And now your 3 fighters responding at a 4. There's 1 roll down that doesn't count, unfortunately, because that was a 6, but you've got 2 hits already. This is your 3rd fighter. Misses. Okay, so 2 hits. The bombers, I assume.
Bombers, yep.
Yep. It's always in round 6 where we start clearing a lot of pieces off the map.
Yeah.
Okay. We're done with this. Russia. Here's your AA shot. Not a roll. Got to be in the box. Misses. Okay. Our bomber at a 4. Hits. Condi, what do you want to lose, my man? The infantry or the bomber? Condi says the infantry.
Okay.
We're losing the infantry. Okay, so now your infantry fires back at a 2. Oh, wait. Okay, there's been a change. Okay, so he wants to keep the infantry and lose the bomber instead. Bomber, okay. Okay, now you said no bomber.
I think he's saying no.
Is that no comma bomber? Grammar matters, friends. So it's the bomber.
Yes. Yes, bomber, or yes, no bomber.
Dude, you're killing me, bro. You're killing me. What do you want to do? It's an or question. You cannot answer yes to an or question. Leave the infantry. Okay, there we go. English hard. Okay, so, but it's still going to fire back. Here's your bomber firing back and missing. And your infantry firing back and hitting. Oh, man, I thought I was going to miss. Oh,
should have rolled those in the opposite order, Gary.
Yeah. That's okay. Well, so now this is much less of a problem.
Yeah.
So that's good.
I think we're fine anyway. So.
Okay, so now over to C-Zone 51. Man, you guys are like, you guys are giving me an anxiety attack over here. All right, so
okay.
Here we go. Carriers in this game attack at a 1, if I remember correctly.
1. Yes.
All right.
Okay. I have forever steered my brain that they attack on a 2 from Classic, and as much as I've played 42nd in this, I still will start doing my math with carriers attacking at a 2.
Right. Okay, so here are the Japanese aircraft carriers attacking at a 1. Oh, it winked at me. It winked at me. Did you see that? I saw it. It missed.
Actually, your screen got a little fuzzy for some reason once you started rolling dice. So,
all right, here we go. Destroyer at a 2. Misses. And now the 3 fighters at a 4.
At a 3.
At a 3, rather. Excuse me, at a 3. Thank you. 1 hit.
1 hit.
Okay.
It's not good.
Assuming that's the tip on the bomber. And now our battleship at a 4. Ooh. Ooh. No, 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 no.
It can happen.
Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. Okay. You've got 3 at a 2. Firing back here. These are your 2 destroyers and the carrier at a 2. 4, 5, 6. 2 hits. Okay, cool. So 2 hits there. All right. So now you got 3 4s, 2 fighters and a battleship. 2 more hits. 4 hits all day.
4. Well, battleship, 2 carriers, and the destroyer.
Okay.
So we have less than a 50% chance of winning from here going forward.
I think we have to push. If we retreat, we retreat to 50. The fighters are going to die because, well, yeah, the fighters are going to die because they've used 4 moves to get here.
Well, 2 of them can land on the carrier in 48, but yeah, it allows them.
No, they cannot.
Oh, yeah, you're right. 4, 4, 4. Yeah, press.
Yeah,
Yep.
we've got to go.
I was just looking at options.
Yeah, no, I hear you. All right, so this is 3. Hold on. We got to.
4, 3.
Apparently, we need to. We're gonna need to. That is unacceptable, my friends. That is. I refuse to lose this game on like a fluke like this. All right, here we go. All right, so here are 4 3s. 1, 2, 3. 1 more hit.
Sweet.
Outstanding. We'll just take them one at a time. That's all we need. Here's the battleship at a 4. Missing. Okay, dokie. So I assume a destroyer for our friends?
That's a safe bet.
Okay, so they've got a destroyer down. Here's 3 2s. Nothing. And 3 4s. 2 more hits.
Okay.
That's got to be 2 fighters.
Yep.
Okay, so their destroyer is removed. We got to press again because
yeah,
that's what we got. We got 2 3s. We got 2 3s. So there's 2 hits. And now the battleship at a 4 hits. So that's 3 hits. Call your losses. Chad, what do you want to feel? Chad, I'm going to go ahead and guess that it's the destroyer, it's a carrier, and 1 of the fighters. That's my guess.
Yeah. We need them to whiff coming back at us. Yeah, DDAC fighter. Yep.
Okay, so I called it right. Okay. So these are staying. So now you've got 2 at a 2 coming back.
2 to 2. I almost can't watch.
Misses. Now 3 4s. 1 more hit.
1 hit. Nice.
Okay, so that's got to be a fighter.
Yep. Okay, you got him. Got him 2 here, Gary.
All right, let's get the American units out of the way here. All right, here's the 3. Yeah, I mean, you guys, I'm going to pass out here. I got to tell you, I'm more nervous about this than I was like the finals of the World Championship. Can I tell you that? Like, man, like I'm sweating over here. All right, so this is our fighter at a 3. Hit. Our battleship at a 4. hits.
Nice.
Okay. Okay. These are your two. Oh my God. If this goes down like this, I'm going to lose my absolute mind. Battleship and a fighter. One miss. That, oh my God. I'm going to pass out. Okay, so we lose
That
the
was
fighter.
kind of completely unbelievable.
Oh my God. If those have both hit, that'd have been it.
Yep. Oh my gosh. I was sitting there thinking, at one point I was like, okay, at least it won't matter. At least we're not idiots. It won't matter that we left the bomber out. And then it comes down to the end. I'm like, okay, we are idiots. And if we would have had the bomber in there, we would have been fine.
Oh my God. Well, you guys,
oh my gosh.
it's good TV. Damn. Okay. That.
Unbelievable.
Oh,
Unbelievable
man.
close.
Okay. All right, man. All right. Jeez, Pete. Okay. I'm going to need a drink after this. All right. So the Japanese lost a metric ton here.
Everything on the board.
Pretty much. Okay. So 36, 40, 80, 88, 96, 96 plus 28, 124.
Yeah.
So the Axis lose 124 IPCs in that round. And what did the Allies lose here? The Allies lost 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 90, 102, 102 plus 14, no, 102 plus 28 is 130. Okay, so 130 IPCs lost for the Allies. Okay. I don't know that it could have gone much better than that.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
Yeah.
Do we still want to go for a 7th round?
Nope.
No.
Okay, non-combat.
Yeah.
We're going to move the battleship in 34 to Sea Zone 16.
Right.
We are landing the fighters and the bomber in eastern Ukraine.
Yep.
We're moving the carrier in 48 to 60. I mean, that's it, right? We could split the guys in Hufei if we wanted to. I mean, nothing else is material to the actual game itself.
No, I mean, you want to move these two guys over from Tokyo to Buryatia?
Sure.
I mean,
yeah.
If they want to go at 2 infantry and a tank with 3 infantry, but what do they have to lose? You know what I mean? Like I would do that just to create the opportunity for that to work.
Yeah.
Right.
As well.
So let's make that all harder. Okay.
Move my transports in 34 back to 38 to resupply.
Sure.
Okay, just a quick look to make sure we haven't missed anything dumb. I think it looks good.
Okay.
Ready to play. Destroyer in 62.
And everything else into Tokyo.
Oh, you think not put anything in India?
Why?
It doesn't matter either way.
There's no danger. The only danger that's presented are these 2 fighters and these 2 land units that are still alive in Sea Zone 59.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
this absolutely makes it impossible. Not that
Yeah.
it was likely before, but now it's completely. Again, if I lose that battle, like I'm getting out of showbiz because that's going to be the end of. Okay. All right. And the blame game in the chat has already begun. Okay. Anything else for Japan? Okay, so let's do an inventory count here real quick for Japan. The battleship is in Sea Zone 16 with the Italian battleship and cruiser and 2 transports. In eastern Ukraine, we have 2 Japanese fighters and the bomber, along with 1 German infantry. Persia has 1 tank. Sea Zone 34 has 1 transport in it. There's a bunch of dead guys here in the southern Indian Ocean. Sea Zone 38 has 3 transports in it. Hupei has 2 infantry. Buryatia has 4 infantry and a tank. Sea Zone 62 has a destroyer and a transport. Tokyo has an infantry, 5 tanks, and a fighter. Sea Zone 60 has a carrier with no air units on it. Sea Zone 51 has a battleship. Australia has 3 infantry and an AA gun. New Zealand still has the dude in the Shire.
Frodo Baggins hanging out.
Hanging out in Bag End.
Bag End. Looks right.
Oh, you know what? You know what we should have done? Again, this is cheeky. So we haven't passed the dice here yet, so we're going to do this. So instead of taking the 2 guys from Tokyo, we're going to grab 1 guy, swing out to Iwo Jima, grab this guy, bring him back to Buryatia. So there's another infantry in Tokyo, and Iwo Jima is now unoccupied. We did it right in front of the transport with the 2 guys in it. But all the math is the same, except there's nobody in Iwo. There's 1 dude. Look at us clearing off almost all the islands.
It's efficient.
It is efficient. I like efficiency. So there is 1 dude still hanging out in Wake Island. The Americans still have this guy, the 2 guys in Midway. So they could still attack Tokyo, but bring it.
Well, they have to kill the destroyer.
Right. Well, that's what these fighters would be for.
Yeah.
Oh, no, they can't because they have to kill this. So the Russians have to be successful here. And then these guys would have so there's a lot of math there. Okay, so but the Russians do hold on to Stalingrad for now. And we will see what that looks like when it's over.
The guys in Kazakh, but it is what it is.
Yeah, we'll do what we can do.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the American move was good because it pulled fighters from India, whereas if I would have had those 4 fighters, it would have been a bomber and a fighter into Russia and 3 fighters into Kazakh, and I would have been able to kill everything over there. So, good move. I like it.
Yeah. Russia does have 25 IPCs.
I have them at 26.
Yeah, I think they saved 1 last time, or they earned 1 that they've since lost. Something like that. Oh, we picked up Eastern Ukraine.
Yeah, it was Eastern Ukraine.
Their turn. So we stepped up to Eastern Ukraine. So they did have 26, and then then Germany took them down to 25, which is what they're currently earning. And speaking of earning, the Japanese go up to 44, the UK down to 30. Okay. So that's all good. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Anything else on the map before I clean up?
No, not on the map. No.
All right. Okay, so
I have Japan at 43.
Yeah,
when I recount. Yeah, okay. Sorry, I thought you said 44. Okay.
No, sorry. 43 is what I have on the
43.
The chart.
Oh, we didn't move. Yeah, it's okay. It's not going to matter.
We didn't move what?
Well, yeah, I'd mentioned moving one of our guys from Hufei to Siyuan or Xingkang, but it's fine. It doesn't matter.
You want to do that?
I mean, the economy isn't going to come into play, I don't think.
Right. So. Yeah. I will say that if we were going to go a 7th round, these guys would step into Fujian so that they could then go to either Shanghai or Hong Kong. But
yeah.
So that's where they'll end. That again, you get into a place where stuff doesn't matter. Okay. All right.
Okay. Good. Good round.
Yes. I'm pleased with how that turned out. So, is there any interest in hearing what my move for my nightmare scenario for the U.S. was?
You mean nightmare for Japan?
Yeah, it would have been yes. So it would have been a nightmare for the Japanese Imperial Japan. I think I couldn't figure out how to do anything with it, how to stop it.
Yeah, I didn't math out my response too much. I just, when you did it, I was like, crap.
Yeah. So basically, somebody made a comment, not in the live chat, but later on the actual replay video, that they didn't understand why the U.S. just didn't plow out and go after Tokyo. And the general reaction was, well, Japan can just build. And I thought, okay, well, yeah, that's true. But can they build enough? Because all we had there was just the 2 infantry. So, and our fleet was way down here. We wouldn't have been able to get up here to defend it, and we couldn't have attacked the U.S. fleet. So what I had was all 3 American bombers coming and landing in the Soviet Far East with the 2 fighters from 56.
Killing the transport in 62 on the way.
Right, so that they couldn't bring these guys back to reinforce. Right.
Yep.
So this fleet moves to, I think it was 58 or 64. It didn't really matter. And 2 fighters come up, like you guys did. 2 fighters come up and land on the carrier. The 2 carrier fighters come up and land in here. So the only thing we could have hit this with were the 2 infantry and the tank that was there. We might get one of the fighters, but I don't know. And the Russians could have then stepped back, because at that point we were still talking about whether or not we were going to go after an economic victory. But the Russians could have stepped in and taken back whatever. And anyway, so they come with the 2 transports. They can get there with 3 bombers, 4 fighters. So they get there with 4 land units, 3 bombers, 3 fighters, and we could only
3 bombers, 4 fighters.
Right.
So 7 air and 4 land units.
Right. And the best that we could make was
8 units.
Right. And you still would have had, and even if we built a destroyer to stop the battleship's offshore shot, which would have been inefficient, the math to hold Tokyo there was only, I think the Americans to take it was, they were over 60% to take the capital. And I think maybe Iwo would have been the better position for them to be in, because if we don't build here, then we can get to 61, or the U.S. can get to 61. Now the fleet from 48 can come in here, but there's more than enough air power to kill the Japanese fleet here and land in either one of these cities, and we couldn't have protected them both. So this is why, if the entire fleet comes to, what is this, 59, if the entire fleet came to 59, the bombers land in the Soviet Far East, along with 2 fighters, and then there's 4 land units that we can't hit in 59, not any meaningful way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The bombers from India couldn't get there. We could only get there with the bombers that were in the East Indies. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We could have landed in Iwo, but you could have killed the guy there if you really wanted to. So we would have taken away the bombers' landing zone, so no one could have attacked these units that were there.
I actually don't. I don't think they had a 60% chance. It wasn't that high. I think it was closer to 45%. It was pretty close to 50-50.
Right. But it also then gives them a reasonable shot at all three cities, right? So we'd have to block 60 to stop them
Yep.
from taking Manila. So we'd have to
Going
leave a carrier out here.
Mm-hmm.
We'd have to reposition air units to be on these carriers to keep this alive, which pulls those fighters out of this battle. I don't know. I'm not saying that that's better, but I will say that the whole fleet being here with the bombers here made all of this much harder to math and to anticipate. At least I couldn't figure it out. I think what you guys did is really, really good. I did not see just the transport and these two guys coming up here.
Yeah.
I think the objective of this was just to be bait, and hopefully a bomber would come up and try to kill them because there's no defense for them. And it didn't matter whether or not you had them here or not. Right? Like if they were here, it wouldn't have mattered. You only need one guy to land in Manila. You only need one guy in Hong Kong or Shanghai. So anyway, that was when I was looking at the Americans move. That's what I saw as like, man, that would suck. Because you're forking 4 cities from 59, and we could only make one of them an absolute no-go. But the other 3, 2 of which we couldn't really get any additional units to because you killed this transport. This tank could make it to Shanghai, but we couldn't really get anybody in Hong Kong unless we wanted to reposition fighters to get there. Because we had a transport down in 30 and the other 3 transports were in 34, we couldn't reinforce Hong Kong. And this probably would have been our Achilles heel because that's where I would have landed, right? Like that would have been my primary target because we could at a minimum gotten 2 guys in the tank here. The guy, right? So now you got to fight through something. But we couldn't get anything here without moving these fighters over, and which pulls them out of this mess entirely. But we'll see. Do I think that makes us win? I don't know. I have no idea. But that was kind of what I was looking at. And I'm sure that there's somebody in the chat who's going like, no, if we'd have just done this and this, and that is entirely possible. So
it pulls the bombers out of Europe, so there is definitely a trade-off. I did just bring a calculator up and run the math. I actually think if I fly the 2 bombers from the East Indies and land them in Tokyo, I had 46. So I build 4 tanks, which is 20. I build 2 fighters, which is 40, and 2 infantry, which is 8 units. They actually don't have a very good chance of taking Tokyo. But I don't know what the math is on Paris and Germany and anything else.
Yeah, here's the answer. Duh. So the only thing you really need to build here is a destroyer, because the fleet from 59, it would have to fight through 62 or 60 to get to either any of these 3 cities.
Yeah, it's just Tokyo.
So they'd have to go to Tokyo.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but honestly, building.
Maybe my move sucked.
No, I don't think it sucked. I think it was like initially it was like, whoa, you have 7 air units and 4 land units going into Tokyo. Like, I think it's very scary. So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. What if you just build a battleship and a carrier? I don't know.
It still pulls the Japanese fleet or air north. It accomplishes something similar. So, right. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know which one was better or not. It just seems scary at first glance.
Yeah, I think no matter what, I think the objective over here was to draw as many air units as possible out of this theater, right? Because like if we'd had those 4 fighters over here, then these guys almost certainly don't exist. This guy almost certainly doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah,
Lots
it was
of.
great.
It seems strange that there's only 5 moves left, but it feels like there's a lot of games still to play. We'll see. This is. I'm pleased that this survived as well as it did. That there's air units left over here, because now we can defend this infantry.
Yeah,
So
Russia only has one guy to attack you with, and I guess probably a fighter can get there or something.
Yeah, the Russian fighter can get there, but I think they're
That'd
going
be
to want that fighter someplace else. So
Air
we'll
Force
see.
go out in a blaze of glory.
That's right.
Well,
That
I
Gear
guess
Force, it'll get you.
yeah, was Air Force in Caucasus or is it out in the Baltic?
I think it's obviously in the Baltic, and it's going to have the chance to try to save the day here. We'll see. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. It is worth mentioning though that Russia on turn 1 did buy the extra fighter,
It's worth
and
mentioning.
that fighter has been very, very helpful. So I still stand by the whole Air Force argument, and that the Russian fighter there is and on turn 1 is the better, is a solid strategy, and it's working out so far for the Allies. I mean, this fighter's still alive. It's got a lot of useful options. I don't know that it's going to attack Eastern Ukraine. That feels like a waste of its talents at this point, but it could have if there had been only one fighter there, or if there would have been no fighters there. If it's just the guy and the bomber, absolutely, I'm going with the guy and the fighter for sure. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. There's a lot of madness that's going to happen in the next 3, 4 turns, 5 turns. So we'll see. All right. Any questions about the board? Anything else while I'm still over here? All right.
No,
Nope.
I'm good.
Seems like we got it. Seems like we're in good shape. Okay. Oh, man. Okay, so I'm going to do a little work real quick. So Doug, fill a little time for me here while I make sure I have the proper list of members that have been members for a month. Make sure this is an updated list.
Yeah. I think the play with the U.S. fleet was good. It drew away enough of our air units to not kill more of the Russian land troops and provide the Caucasus with a reprieve. IPC count, I mean, honestly, it's just not going to matter. Happy to give it. Italy at 13, Russia at 25, Germany at 26, UK at 30, United States at 39, and Japan at 43. So I think that the IPC count is pretty significantly in the favor of the Allies, with no real opportunity for the Axis to level that playing field. At least I don't think. Unless we get all the victory cities that we hope to get, and then I don't think it'll matter. So, did you get all that, Robin? I think it was Robin who asked, right, for the IPC count. I think it's going to come down to, yeah, I think it'll come down to the VCs.
Yeah, almost certain. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've already gotten to a place where if we wanted to go after the victory cities, it's too late now.
You mean the money?
The money, rather. Yeah. Sorry, that's what I meant.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, obviously, if it ties, it comes down to the money. But what I meant by my comment was I don't see if the Axis don't get the cities, they don't get the money. And if they get the cities, the money doesn't matter. That we can't win a tie in cities is what I mean by it doesn't matter.
Right. Okay. So we got that. Next. All right. Very good. All right. So, yes. Did I drink my Ovaltine today? It seems that I did. All right.
Better
So
do it Wednesday and Sunday and Friday also because we need it, man. You turn that around. I'm serious. I was like, okay, that was fun while it lasted.
yeah, that. Oh man, that. I tell you, man, that battle in 51. It doesn't get any closer than that. Like
No.
that. To have such bad rolls in the first 2 rounds and then just absolutely. I will tell you, I might have cried, my friends. I might have cried if that transport was the only thing left in that C zone. I would have just died. Oh my god. Ugh.
It would have been both funny and frustrating. Like, I was actually thinking, I was thinking about maybe you should roll those 2 4s independently of one another to build the drama.
I couldn't take it. I couldn't take that kind of pressure, man. That was too
Oh
much. That was
man,
too much for me.
that was
Oh
that was
my
crazy.
god. Okay, so what are we giving away? Let's talk about prize. It's prize time, my friends. But first, before we can do prizes, make sure that you've hit that like button for us. If you would like our chance to win fabulous prizes and like these and more, which we're going to have in just a second, make sure that you hit that join button and become a member of the old Board Game Nation and get to vote on what these last 3 Allied moves will be. The Soviets still have to go, the UK has to go, and the Americans get the final word. Yes. You should show the raw footage of the battle in a summary video. Yeah, you're probably right. That's probably... That'll be if there was going to be a battle. I don't know. There's still a lot more to go here, so we'll see what
Yeah,
happens.
there's
Got some big ones coming up still.
there's
Oh,
more opportunities.
adrenaline is still pumping. All right, so let's start with our first North Africa accessory pack here with the very cool battle board that is Axis on one side and Allies on the other, which is very handy. There's just a lot of picadillos in this game in terms of like different unit types that have got a lot of different kinds of abilities. So this is a really, really handy thing. Plus, and I put some pictures up on our Facebook page, and I think I put them in the Discord server as well, that shows close-ups of these. And this Tiger tank is actually pretty cool. So very cool. All right, so let's go over to down to the wheel of prizes. Time to go to the wheel. I think the wheel gets a glockenspiel. I'll take that. It's very good. All right. So once again, remember that in order to win, you've got to be 18. You've got to be a member for a month. And yes, Chad, this would go nicely with your very first production copy of what's it called? North Africa. Yes. Very cool. Okay. So for the first one of these, we need a drum roll. There we go. Who's going to win the first North Africa accessory pack? It's going to go to our friend and yours, Skyfall the Blackbird. Sky of the Blackbird. I like it. He has been around for a little while now, so we appreciate him being here. Thank you. Make sure that you're reaching out to me on the Facebook or the Discord servers, and we will make sure that we get those over in the mail to you. We appreciate that. Okay, next we'll do the second one of these. Yes, I think. Again, same Axis and Allies, North Africa battle board, and UK Scout cards, and the Tiger tank. Who's getting the second one of these? Oh my God. I didn't hit the drum roll. I don't know what's going to happen now. There we go. Maybe it'll time out. Perfect. Almost. Who's winning?
Pretty close. There you go.
Robin! Yay! All right. Robin is commander number one. Number one in your programs and number one in your hearts. Robin is taking home the North Africa battle board and extra accessory pieces. And we will get those over in the mail to him. And I will actually send those with the coasters. We got a fresh order of coasters coming in. I know I owe a bunch of my lieutenants and generals coasters. I got a fresh order of those coming in. You did not win Lord of the Rings Risk, for the love of Pete. No. You won the North Africa pieces. That's cool. Congratulations. Be happy with the thing that you won. I'm happy for you. It's very cool. But like I said, I owe a bunch of people coasters, and I've been waiting on this order for a long time. It's going to be here next week. It's supposed to be here on the 16th, so I'll get all those out at the same time. I'd assume he prefers rolls over rises. No. Okay. No, I'm not going to put that Lord of the Rings Risk game in the giveaway. I'm just not going to do it. I'll bring it with me to come see us at Battlefront Dayton, and I will have it there, and we'll play it to your heart's content. I'll set up a special table just for Lord of the Rings Risk. You guys are too much.
That's right.
Okay, and we got one more. Oh, no, I'm sorry. We got more HBG prizes. I forgot. We got the dice here. Yes, the gas dice. Cool. The fuel dice. Thank you. Yes, no, Charles, stop giving her ideas. Jeez, oh, man. All right. Okay, so next up, who's going to take home? And by the way, there are now 4, I believe there are 4 of these add a prize, spin again spaces in here. So we add one every time that it doesn't hit. So we've been adding them. All right, so who's going to get a set of fuel dice from our friends at Historical Board Gaming? Got to give the roll. Boom. All right. Fuel dice coming to you from our friends at Historical Board Gaming. Who's getting them? Peter Fung. Peter Fung. Fantastic. We appreciate the support, Pete. Please reach out to us on the Facebook page or Discord server to get these in the mail to you. Nice. We just, in fact, got the that Robo Rally game out in the mail to Pino in the Netherlands. I will not tell you how much it costs to ship that box to the Netherlands.
Maybe you should have bought him a copy from a store in the Netherlands.
I tried. I did try. And there just wasn't an effective way to do it. I tried to go to Amazon and say, hey, I'm in the please send this game to this person in the Netherlands because you can have it shipped to other people. But I would have had to have convinced it that I was in the Netherlands.
Got it.
It wouldn't let me send it from here, which I thought was weird. Why wouldn't you let me do that? But so we end up shipping the copy that I had here. But you're absolutely right. It probably would have been cheaper, but I couldn't figure out how to do it. All right, so we got one more set of the fuel dice before we do the global map. And Jamie, my wife, she's so funny. Sorry, Charles. Never put anything in writing Robin can use against you. It's a rookie move. Oh, man, I hope you guys come. I hope you guys all come to the Battlefront because we're going to have a good time. It's going to be fun. All right, so one more prize from our friends at HBG. This is the second set of the dice, with the first one going to Peter Funk. And here is the second set of dice going out to whoever this thing stops on. Let's find out. I like the fuel dice. I think they look pretty cool. And you can just roll them if you want to. Who's winning? Brian Hyde. Hey, General Hyde. Nice. It's the night for generals. Robin and Brian are both generals in their support of Board Game Nation, so we appreciate that. As you can see, I don't have any control over this damn wheel, so this is actual spinning here. No favoritism. So we'll get these over to Brian, and we already have your address, Brian. So I'll just go ahead and get those in the mail next week. And that is, and once again, everybody, say thank you to Historical Board Gaming for giving us these fantastic prizes. We really appreciate Doug Friend's support, and
that's awesome.
And we just got a lot of very cool stuff, and more on the way. Apparently, he's going to send us some additional stuff. So make sure that you're checking out that website, historicalboardgaming.com. And here is our affiliate link. Best wife ever, my friends. Best wife ever. That's how you do promotion, Doug. Just so you know, that's right there. Write that down. Make notes.
Got it.
You got it. Okay, cool. All right. So in honor of, so let me tell you a little about our production schedule real quick. Let me back up to this shot real quick. Our production schedule, we just finished, we've completely finished shooting Battle for the Deep, the how to play for that. And if you haven't seen it, I know you guys, some of you probably thought it was a little strange. We posted a video this week, our first actual video that we posted in a while. We've been doing these live streams for the last few weeks, but it was for a game called Clash of Corgis, which is obviously not what we are known for. But we had a new friend, Ava Matthews, came and sat, and we shot that video with her, and is a sponsor piece. They reached out and wanted us to make a video for them, and so we made a quick short video for them. If you haven't seen that, please check it out. She did a great job, and we're looking forward to more work with her. But she's also the co-host of the Battle for the Deep How to Play video with me. So she appears in that video as well, and she did a great job. That is now in the editing process and being put together. Hopefully that will be ready to go out middle of next week is my guess. And hopefully you'll be seeing Ava around Board Game Nation events. We're going to see, we'll certainly be working with her again in the future as we get more casual games that are available for the channel. So that's awesome. So that is done, and I have just finished shooting all of the table stuff for Song for War, which, guys, I'm telling you, this is good. You guys are gonna love this game. This is just a very, very cool game. So we got to shoot that, and it's like a 10-minute kind of overview of the game, and it runs up to their Kickstarter, which starts on April 28th, and very, very cool. Very cool. I think you guys are gonna really dig it. I like the battle mechanic. It's very smooth, and everyone's always playing, so there's not just okay, it's your turn, I'm going to go make a sandwich, right? That's just not a thing that that happens in Song for War. So it's pretty cool. So I hope you guys make sure you check that out. But as soon as that's done, we are on to Global, making the video for the coverage of the Global Final from Gen Con 2024. And I know I've been promising this for a long time, and I appreciate everybody's patience. I'm just one dude out here trying to get all this done. And it storms, and it's been quite the thing. Anyway, so in honor of that project actually getting underway, we're going to give away one of our global maps for 1940, and they're all signed on the Pacific side, but we'll send you all 4 boards so that you've got a proper set, right? So it's not just this one.
That'd be sweet. Quarter of a board. Here you go.
I'm just going to cut this piece out and send it to you.
That's right.
That's all you get. No. So we do have a set of proper 4 boards that we actually got from Robert Prather. If you guys know the chaplain in St. Louis, he runs a lot of the BBR events. And so yeah, it's he had a bunch of these that he had kind of accumulated over the years, and I bought them from him for way less than I'm sure they were worth. But so I kind of accepted as a donation from him. But this one, we sent not a bunch, but enough of these to Larry to have him sign, and he was of course gracious enough to sign them and send them back. So it is time to give away one of these. Let's set that guy right there. All right, who wants to win this? Anybody out there? All right, Ed has showed up. Good to see you, Ed. Good to see you. It's Battlefront Dayton, Doug. It's Battlefront Dayton. There you go. Jamie, just wanted to remind you. Battlefront Dayton. All right.
Battlefront Dayton, Doug.
There it is. Brian, you won a prize. Welcome back, Brian. You're on delay, but it's your lucky day. You won a set of the fuel dice coming your way. So that's awesome. Robin, I'm afraid you cannot win this global map because you just won another prize. So you're off the wheel at the moment. We'll get a new set of get the wheel back up here in a minute. Here we go. So it is time to give away the global map.
This is big.
This is big. This is and this is a cool prize. I think this is a cool prize. All right. So who's gonna take home the? Here we go. Global map from my friend and yours, Mr. Larry Harris, coming to a table near you in Dave Garner's house. You're going to need to go see Dave Garner if you want to check out his new, very cool global map. Dave, nice. Make sure that you reach out to us on the old Facebook or the Discord server for to get us shipping instructions to get this game out, or this signed map out to you. This is a very cool thing, and there's just not a lot of these running around the world, so we hope
that's Dave. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, wait, I forgot something here. Hold on. To all of our winners today. All right, so Robin won the North Africa piece. And Peter Fung won a set of the dice, and Brian Hyde won a set of the dice, and somebody else won. And we had a bunch of prizes today, so that's very exciting. We're congrats to all of our winners today, and to Chad Condi, thank you very much for being our commander of the day. I know that there was a lot of debate about the best path for US 5, which I love to see. So there's this conspiracy theory that I'm like stalking the world chat. And once again, I said this earlier, like most of the options that you guys have, that we can see what they are, right? This is a full information game. There's nothing hidden in this game. We do get surprised from time to time. But the only time that I'm looking at the world chat is to basically see what kind of traffic there is, right? Like how many messages are there? Is this something that's being talked about? And I'm looking for engagement, which is all I ever wanted out of this game. So once again, win, lose, or draw, I am very happy with how this game has gone and what it has accomplished in terms of activating the community, even if it's to watch us go down in flames or to watch us, to quote Dumbledore, win eternal glory, whatever that is. But I mean, you guys are playing absolutely fantastic. You guys are playing great, and I feel like we're playing okay. Like, there's a couple of things that I think that we could have done differently. That I would like to, if I had to take back, we would probably revisit. But hindsight is 2020, and it's
more than one.
Right. I mean, if we'd have gone after the Japanese fleet in 53 on J1 or J2, whichever it was, maybe we get all our guys shot down. Right?
Yeah.
Like, that was not a slam dunk battle. It was like a 60% battle, 65% battle if we'd gone at it. I think we'd had 2 fighters and a bomber versus a battleship and a carrier. We're favored, but it's not huge. We could have just as easily whiffed a couple of times and got all those units shot down, which changes the trajectory of Japan entirely. So it's if you lose, more people will subscribe. I will tell you, Bill, I've wondered this. I will say I will share this observation. I'm not sure if I should, but I'm going to tell you anyway. On nights when we got pounded on with bad dice or whatever, we got way more gift memberships than on nights that we did well. So I don't know if that is if there's any direct correlation to that, if people are trying to soften the blow because oh man, that's too bad. Gary's got, let's pick up some new members here. I don't know if there's any correlation to that or not, but I don't know. We'll see. So I don't know if that's going to happen or not.
when I look at this game, I feel like we've made some mistakes. I feel like there's some things I would have done differently if I were the Allies, but I can't point to like that's a mistake. Like yeah, I might not have done it that way, or I mean maybe there's like one or two, but not as many mistakes as we made.
Yeah, I
That's
can't
that's
look
my
at I'm not looking at the world's play and thinking,
yeah,
yeah, that was a terrible choice. Like I know,
exactly.
there have
Yeah,
been like as we've looked at the orders and the poll's been going on, like Doug and I have said like, boy, I hope they do this instead of this, right?
yeah,
And that had more to do with um like where we were trying to go versus what was necessarily right or wrong, right?
yeah,
Like I was pleased that in this round, I was pleased that the Americans didn't go after the Italian fleet, right? It was a low probability, but if they take out that cruiser, then the sub and the bomber, if the Russian bomber survives, they've got a better shot. So like we were bringing the Japanese around, but then the UK fighters have a better chance of getting in there and messing things around because we're gonna, we want that Italian fleet to still be there, right? I don't think it's any secret what we're trying to do at this point, right? Like we just sacked most of the Japanese Air Force to try to to try to take out all of the units around Stalingrad. So, spoiler alert,
yeah.
that
I
is
would
our
have rather
primary
been
target.
an Air Force pilot than a naval pilot this time around with Japan.
No doubt. Yes, 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 for sure. Um, yeah, is this our Stalingrad smash strategy? It is now.
Yeah,
I won't tell you that that's what we started with, but you like Charles said, like the way the dice fall is sometimes what's going to determine the you know move in tactics or strategy or whatever. So
yeah.
anyway, so yeah, all good stuff. Oh man, this was the other thing. No AA losses this turn. That really helped. But this is the first time. Actually, that's true. This is the first time the Axis have sent air units into a territory that had an AA gun, and the AA gun did not shoot down
Hmm.
the Axis air unit. We did it in Australia. They shot down the Japanese fighter. And then we went into Persia, and they shot down the the German fighter. So the AA guns in this game have paid for themselves a couple of times over, and they've been. We were talking about this before. Like the AA guns in this game have been really very important pieces, more important than I normally think of them as, because they've been moved around a lot and moved to different places and been really important as to where they were and how they were going to be captured and then recaptured. And so yeah, it's been. I don't know. We'll see. Um, would you have changed going after the UK fleet? I don't think so. If the
You didn't go. Did you? You didn't go after the UK fleet, did
On
you?
G1 we did, and we sank it.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Is that what you're talking about, Mr. Coffee? I don't. Once that fleet started getting built in Sea Zone 5 and started living in Sea Zone 5, um, we would have gone after it before the Russian destroyer and fighter landed on it. If the destroyer and that fighter hadn't been there, then yeah, we'd absolutely flown in there and rolled at it. I think we had 67, 8, something like that percent chance, and that'd have been the ball game.
Oh, he's asking if we could go back in time, would we hit the fleet in on G5? Would we have hit the fleet last round?
Not with the destroyer and the fighter in it. No. If that destroyer and fighter weren't there, then yeah, we would have done it. If that's the question. Am I still not understand the question correctly?
I think you're understanding it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, our math was terrible at that point to go at it. We would have lost all of our air power, and any chance that we had of defending
Yeah.
would have been gone. I will say that I wonder about going after the Norwegian tank, and instead using the bombers to continue to thin down the Soviet units or units in Caucasus. But I don't think at that point we had completely decided to go 100% into Caucasus, because the Japanese units were still hanging out in like the Middle Pacific, and the fighters. What we were waiting on is whether or not we were going to be able to. It all came down to Caucasus or Honolulu. That was what it came down to, was whether we were going to take one or the other, and we ended up settling on Caucasus because we could get more air units there. We could get all the Japanese air units there, and we weren't confident that the Americans wouldn't be able to put enough units in Honolulu to make it untakeable. And I actually did a lot of math around that, trying to figure out, like, okay, what's the maximum number of units that they can get there? Air units, land units. I did a bunch of math, like, okay, well, what happens if we destroy the blockers and end the turn in the sea zone around Hawaii and threaten San Francisco, right? Could we have taken out the U.S. fleet? But if we did that, then the Americans would have had an opportunity to then bolster that fleet to a point where we couldn't get through it. And now our fleet is just sitting in the middle of the Pacific, and we don't have any viable targets. Now, at that, we would have also already taken Sydney at that point. But now, if that U.S. fleet is starting to push beyond the Japanese fleet's capability, now we have to worry about Tokyo, we have to worry about Sydney, and we wanted to distract them from the European theater. But if you get the entire American attention, now you've got a whole other set of problems.
Yeah, it was I don't think that we had a chance at taking Honolulu one, but the idea was, could we draw the U.S. to spend over here and not go after? Yeah, I think Charles was right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we could have maybe drawn more of the U.S.'s economy into the Pacific if we would have gone for Hawaii, but I don't think there was a viable option to take it.
Right. And
So
it
I
would
was
have meant, right, and it would have meant not having the Japanese forces necessary to take Stalingrad, or perhaps even to defend Calcutta.
Yeah.
Because remember, we just took out a whole column of Russian tanks, and there could have been 6 Russian tanks, 2 fighters, and a bomber coming at Calcutta on Russia 5. And now it's completely out of reach because of the move of the Japanese air power, right? So
yeah, this is in no way a complaint, because the dice are what the dice are. But like, when we mathed out some of the stuff in Kazakh and Persia last round, I don't remember exactly, but I think Russia statistically should have had either 2 or maybe 3 tanks left in Persia, not 4.
right.
They should have had 2 units left in Kazakh, and so it just seemed like the math was better that direction. We could have, I mean, if those things would have played out according to the odds, it could have been a little different over there right now. So, but I think it was our best option statistically.
Yeah, me too. That's why we went that way. All right, so that wraps us up for today. We have next up is the Soviets' final move, USSR 6, followed by Germany 6, and that both moves are going to be important. I think I know what the Russians are probably going to do. I will be completely honest with you. I have no idea what the Germans are going to do right now. We're going to have to see. We'll have to do some mathing and see what we can get done. Poland, Paris, Berlin, these are all important places that we are going to try to defend. We're going to see how it works out. But all right, friends. Well, again, congrats to all of our winners. Thank you to Jamie for being our hostess with the mostest, and for Doug for being with us, and for all of our commanders for taking the time to put in really good orders. I think all 4 orders that we had in tonight were very, very good. Make sure that you're hitting that like button on your way out the door. And man, join us Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday. We've got a whole lot of game left to play. So we will see what happens next. And Battlefront Dayton, save the date, November 7th, 8th, and 9th. Signing contracts probably
Got it.
Monday. So we'll have win, lose, or draw next Friday. I'm going to have a lot more information for you for Battlefront Dayton, because that'll be our big finale live stream of this particular mayhem. So awesome, guys. Well, thank you very much for joining us, and we will see you Sunday. Have a great night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.